Guys, welcome back to BHP Tours. I'm at a very busy Lotus Piccadilly. It's their new flagship, state-of-the-art showroom. Let's go inside. I'm on my way to get another Emira. Last time out, there's quite a few takes of this. I'm now 3,500 miles into BMW M2 ownership, so I think this is a good time for me to offer my review on what the car's like to own, to live with, and crucially travel with, because that's what I'm doing as part of BHP Tours, right? So I'm going to offer you 3 things that I like and 3 things that I don't. I tried doing a similar thing in the Lotus Emira on my way back to it. Lotus Emira, did you say? For those that have been following my channel for a while, might remember that this is the car, albeit in manual V6 form, that I used to start my YouTube channel. I've been across a fair bit of Europe in it, and even done a couple of track days. Bit of a near miss here too. 2-litre inline 4 review, let's go. So again, Lotus Emira first edition, Seneca Blue, I think it's the launch colour. It's the first colour I ever saw of the Emira. We'll touch base on that very shortly. Got the all-new Lotus Electra, premium hyper SUV. World's first hyper SUV. This is the R, carbon fibre, 23-inch wheels. And then you have the S as well. The R's the top of the range. So I said state of the art. Downstairs. So once you've decided which model you want, you can come downstairs. Lovely bar, and then can build your own. You've got a lovely studio to yourself, quite echoey. Got some amazing KEF speakers here. I'll touch on these shortly, but they're exclusive to Lotus. I think they're the only brand, actually, car manufacturer that actually works with them. And I'm told by Matt here, they're 16 grand for the 2, but I'm sure they're really good quality. You've got a few different colors here as well. And then you have a screen where you can build and configure your own. So I'm currently on the Electra, but you can build the Emira, the Emea that you saw, I saw at Goodwood, and the Avaya, the all electric, which I guess inspired the Emira. So I'm going to go on Emira. This is a bit of a clue as to which car I'm going to use. Oh, I love it in green. So we'll go first edition. There's a few more colours. Strange, I remember the first edition, there was hardly any colours. I think it was about 4 or 5. I think I'm driving the Magma Red off memory.
Yep.
Yeah, oh no. So what's the normal red that isn't Magma?
We've got Vivid.
Vivid.
And Magma.
Okay, I prefer Magma. So we're gonna go Magma, configure your Emira, and then, wow, we've got different environments, yeah, exterior colours. So yeah, Magma, black pack, full black pack, not the lower one. I don't know what wheels. Has this car got black wheels? I think it does.
Yeah, it does.
Lightweight. Does this have the track pack, or is this the touring?
I recommend going for touring.
Fine. I had a touring on mine, but I didn't drive the track. Yeah, cross drill brakes, and then you get to choose your calipers. My Lotus that I had, the Emira, was yellow, but this one is black. Is that right? Or they're red?
On the wheels?
Yeah.
Yeah, black.
Black, okay, fine. All right, fine. And then interior, I had, there's a few different more colours. No, there's not. Black Alcantara is what I went for, and I think this one's black Napa leather. Is that right?
Yep.
There we go. So there's quite a few, but listen, this isn't a configurator tour, but it's nice to see what you can do. You can get it on the screen, really personalise it, have a seat. It's nice, proper experience. And keen eyes might spot the 2-litre i4 that I'm going to be driving. Wow, she's absolutely beautiful. I really, really like red. I've said on my channel before that I only think red is for Ferraris, but this looks like a little Ferrari, this thing. And the seat definitely needs adjusting. The person who was in it before me was pretty small. First thing that I find really odd is that when you start the car, the passenger seat just shakes. Wow, here we go. First time back in an Emira. And there are some really cool differences actually, aside from the engine. Well, I love the pedals. I know that sounds really shallow and weird, right? But the paddles, nothing beats a good set of aluminium paddles. I had the paddle shift on my F-Type and they were painted plastic. I know the new JLR product all has nice new ones, but yeah, these, as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, this feels nice. And I opted for the Alcantara seats like this with the yellow stitch, and on the manuals you get no steering wheel center. I guess that's like center bit of the steering wheel, whereas this one's, yeah, you get the strip and you obviously know which bit's center. But yeah, it's so cool being back in an Emira again, it really is. And first thoughts on the engine, it's really, really responsive, like really responsive. Of course, it's a 2 litre, it's never going to sound as sonorous as a V6. I've tried to come in with an open mind, I'd say. I know there's different modes. I'm on my way currently to go see a friend. So yeah, I'm going to see if I can put it in sport mode and see if it sounds any different. So yeah, let's see how we get on. I'm hoping that, like, this is the 2nd model year maybe. I know it's still badged as a 1st edition, but I'm hoping they ironed out some of those niggles. Obviously, I'm only going to have this car for, you know, a day or 2. But yeah, I hope the key doesn't fail. It did that when I was in Scotland on my North Coast 500 trip, and yeah, and also it broke. It was really fragile. So hopefully the key doesn't fail. And yeah, let's see how we get on. I'm obviously not taking this on a track. Yeah, I know it's nice, man, isn't it? So yeah, I've got an hour and a half's journey. Grab some food, see what my friend thinks of the car. I'm off to see Ryan. You may remember him from my Spain video when I toured the whole lap of Spain, or the outer circle of Spain, including a bit of Portugal. I was in my V6 manual Emira. Second, it's tight turn. What a thing this is. And he was in his inline 6 Toyota Supra, BMW Z4, however you want to badge it. Yeah, that's really good, it's really hot in here though. Let's turn that aircon on. It's nice having physical buttons again. Oh, there we go, that's nice and cool. But yeah, you feel so low. Like, compared to getting out of my M2 and coming into this, you feel really, really low. Like, oh, I really want to take this on a track again. Oh, there's loads of police. I need to get out of central London. Turbo whistles are quite cool as well. DCTs in town aren't really the one, if I'm honest, but no, maybe they're especially glitchy in reverse, but hopefully no reversing needed. So, my first time getting out of the city to try this new inline 4 Mercedes AMG engine in town. I mean, I'll do a review. Let's just keep your ears out. I don't think it's as gruff as people say. I think it's actually pretty. It doesn't feel lightning quick. I mean, it's the power delivery as well, but let me try it in one of the new drive modes, or one of the sporty drive modes. So it's in Tour at the moment. Sport, okay, you hear it change a bit. Okay, all right, that's quick. Let's try and track where everything's off. Okay, a few pops and back. That's quick. I retract. Yeah, this is nice. This is nice, yes. I wanted to sort of save this for a latter bit in the review, but this engine and gearbox combo suits the Emira really well. Really, really well. I know the 6 sounds lovely. It really does, that 3.5 V6. Nothing quite beats a tunnel blast. That V6 is lovely in there. But it just doesn't have, other than the sonorous side of it, sorry, I don't think sonorous is a word. It feels very good. Feels very good. This inline 4, very good. Oh, hello. No matter how many times I do it, I can't get the car to get into reverse, and I think it's the dual clutch. But speaking of Lotus history, those might remember my first video where I was talking about the Lotus 7, and I think this is some form of Exmo 7, is that right? You can come out now, Ryan.
Yeah, it's Robin Hood.
Robin Hood, is it? Yeah, new, this isn't a Lotus, but yeah, where's the famous 7? And then we have your new wheels. Your new wheels.
Yeah.
Hello, Margot. So new wheels, Mark 4. Yeah. You gonna go Mark 3, Mark 2? You counting down?
No, this is it. Yeah.
This is your new toy.
Yeah. So obviously I had the auto Mark 5 and the manual Mark 5. But
those might remember that we went to Spain. So I was in my green manual V6, and you were in your manual inline 6.
Yes, yeah, because the auto was with the blue.
And one of my first trips, or the first time I drove to Europe actually, that was to Dolomites, and that was in your auto 5. Yeah. So why Mark 4?
It's the engine, it's the 2JZ.
Yeah?
The legend.
Daddy's girl. So we need to take this away. We need to work out where. I've already got something planned, but this is, have you done much to it? No?
Stock twins, it's on the BPU tune, so it's about 430 brake.
Quicker than the M2, what do you reckon?
I don't know, because it's weight-wise, they're probably about the same, so it'd be...
No, I think the M2's heavier.
Heavier.
I think the M2's like 1600,
It's lighter, but it's a big car. But it's just, the cockpit.
Extra seats. Might see a Supra versus M2, a bit different. But what do you think of the mirror? Do you like the colour? This or the green?
I prefer the green myself.
I think I do as well, but I really like it in red. I think I said earlier in the video that I've always say red cars belong on Ferraris, but it sort of has a bit of 458. Would you say?
Yeah, I thought it was a Lamborghini. It was quite
big compliments that.
Before you say it, I think it's because it was in the green where I was thinking more Lambo. But yeah, it does look like a baby Ferrari, doesn't it?
How do you reckon it drives?
You tell me.
Good. Good. Yeah, I think the gearbox really matches a car. I didn't say it in the car actually, but I think this I feel like this is what the character should be. Feels like a sort of an Alpine A110 sort of Alpha 4C. That's what it reminds me of a bit. 3.5 V6 just didn't. It felt like two sort of separate things really. So let's go out and drive it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Cool. Connectivity issues here. It says wireless CarPlay never works and the CarPlay always freezes. I don't really like being that guy who appears to slag off a car, but yeah, I mean, I didn't even have this on my Lotus. It was pretty good. I mean, I think BMW sort of lead the way with tech and stuff, as I've said before, so probably comparing it against the best in the business, but let's celebrate that it has it, right? Let's celebrate. Pop open the champagne. So after spending a bit of time trying to get used to driving the Lotus Emira again, it's been over a year after all since I had my V6, I thought I'd find a nice quiet street so I can do a little walk around. I didn't manage to do that on my last car. So I'll start with the back. This has the extended or the full black pack that gives you the Lotus lettering in black, the exhaust tips in black. I believe it gives a roof and may even be the wing mirrors as well. So really nice touches. You also have, I love things that like feel mechanical. You can, again, I may be able to show you in this angle. You can see the tyres through this actual air vent. I'm not going to do a stick of truth like they do on Car Wow, but yeah, there's an actual vent on both sides where you can actually see the rubber. Might help if you get a puncture in your tyre or a nail in your tyre. The exhaust tips are real. They go through. There are actually tips beyond that. You've got the reverse light here. I mean, it just looks beautiful. And I need to show you, I'm just going to sit under the bonnet. The engine's in the middle, as you may know. So obviously this is a 2 litre inline 4 turbo, 360 horsepower, and it's obviously shared with Mercedes. I did actually take this apart. Lotus wouldn't want me to say that, but I took it apart and you can actually see where it says AMG on it. The boot gets very hot, similar to what it was with the V6 I had. So you have a bit of storage here. I've left it for my drone pretty much, but there is decent storage here. You couldn't fit a suitcase of any description really. I wish they made this a bit more special. Obviously on the petrol V6, you have that little pulley, I can't remember what it was called, but there's a little metal sort of lever that every time you accelerate it comes forward. You'll see that in this clip now and it looks really cool. Might see a few cars driving past as well. But yeah, decent storage here. Like the fact that you've got the vents here as well. It is really hot. Let's walk you around the side. Oh yeah, can't put anything more than 50 kilos in here, so can't be carrying anyone. Then if you walk around the side, 20-inch alloy wheels, front and back, I believe. The reason why I know this has a touring pack, because it has the Goodyear tyres that I had on my Emira. I think the track pack gives you Michelin's, I think it is, or Pirelli's. So yeah, you can't get Goodyear tyres. Making sure I don't die. Somehow this is a first edition. I don't know why, because considering I picked up my first edition in February 23 and we're now, at the time of recording, end of August 24. But anyway, first edition, inline 4. Got the vents here, they do get hot. You hear loads of induction noises. It sounds, as I said, very mechanical. Like the handles here. Actually, I'll be honest, I don't. I think they're better equipped on other cars, but does the job. So yeah, this panel is actually glass. On my Corvette it wasn't, it was just plastic. So it's glass there so you can see through. Yeah, no, it's definitely glass. So yeah, roof panel obviously in black. Wing mirrors look really cool. Like the red calipers I've gone for here, or they were selected. Could maybe go yellow as well. But yeah, Magma Red, red brake calipers. And then obviously the big Lotus badging. That Lotus badge looks like it's bigger. And then you have, I imagine that's a handbrake, but the brakes look big, they're cross-drilled. I think they're Brembo, but I might be wrong. I'm going to walk you around the front now. The angles just work. I mean, let me know in the comments whether you think this looks better from the side, the front or the back. I'd probably say the front somehow, because the back looks beautiful, but the headlights are great. I'll go on to sort of the functionality of them a bit later, but in terms of how they look modern. You can see their LEDs. That camera was this close to getting wiped out by the Uber Eats driver. Obviously the bits at the front, they're all functional. You have the vents here, obviously feeds it into the cooler.
Nice.
You like it?
Is it made of plastic, fiberglass, or is it proper?
What, as in the car?
Yeah.
Is it made of plastic? No, it's
Fiberglass.
no, it's not made of fiberglass. No, aluminium.
Like all cars.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I hate those fiberglass.
I was just saying how much you liked it.
Oh, good. Do you like the colour?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. Appreciate your feedback. I hope it's made of aluminium. Pretty sure it is. But yeah, this doesn't open. I'm told it only opens once the car is being serviced. There is a seal. When I had my one, the seal actually became a bit loose and had to go in for a couple of things actually. The key stopped working, the seal, and there was something else, can't remember what it was. But yeah, windscreen's very quite steeply raked. Big Lotus badge at the front. Number plate positioning, yeah, I think it works. Obviously front and rear parking sensors, rear camera, which isn't actually working on this one, but I've managed my way around it. But yeah, it looks, yeah, it's one of those cars that I think actually looks good in any colour, or any of the launch colours anyway. I know now they've probably got about 15, 20 colours, I think. They do another red, which I think was called Vivid, that Matt was saying, but the Magma works really well. Really like it. Very Ferrari, Alfa Romeo. But I love looking at it. I absolutely love looking at it. And I've really missed the sort of attention that it draws. Again, Corvette's really rare and people didn't really understand what it was, but this is like another side of it, really. I mean, when I went to Albania on my M2, obviously people looked at that. Albania looked at it because it was a sports car. I didn't really see many, but again, I only went in the north. I didn't go to the south because I hear that is very, very beautiful. So thank you to all of those people who watched that video. Let's walk you around inside. And first thing you're greeted with as soon as you sit inside or even look inside is the steering wheel. And the reason why I point this out is because it is a really strange shape. And I'm not going to go into too much detail because every review that you watch of this, the reviewer will tell you it's an odd shape and it's weird. But I really like the quality of the feel of the steering wheel. Again, I say it's oddly shaped. It's just there's a lot more going on here, and then this is sort of at the bottom. But yeah, I like the fact it feels really small. I like the fact that Lotus offer it in Alcantara. It works really well and feels really nice. The Alcantara did look a bit tired on my car, my Emira that I had. I did about 7,500 miles, and if you're using this every day like I was, you'd probably want to get it retrimmed. So I would have gone for leather in hindsight if I was using it for that sort of length of time. But the gear shift paddles, this being the dual clutch, feels really high quality. They're nice metal. They're not plastic or painted. They just feel cold to the touch and they're really nice. I will get onto the gear shift in a second. You're reminded it's the first edition. You get a plaque here, one more here, and you also obviously get one on the outside. So there's quite a few reminders that you're in a special or a first shape Emira. The quality or the perceived area of quality is really high here. Every material feels obviously suede, leather, high quality plastics or metal. It just feels like a nice place to sit. And that isn't always the case for sports cars. I was driving an Alfa Romeo 4C, and granted that was in 2016, so cars obviously have moved on from there. But it looked absolutely beautiful on the outside. I remember one instance where I was driving over Tower Bridge and someone literally ran out in front of me, almost to the point where I ran them over just to take a photo of it. And the Emira looks very beautiful, so people love looking at it, which then brings me on to sort of this annoying gear shift. I mean, if you're watching this Lotus, you're probably just going to assume I don't know what I'm doing, but I understand you have to press your foot very firmly on the brake and then push this obviously up to go in reverse, and obviously the same to go and drive. But when you've got a car that looks as striking as this, that everybody's looking at, I tried a 3-point turn earlier, pretty much at the entrance of the carnival because the road was blocked, and I must have pushed this forward about 4 times, and you just look like you don't know how to drive. And I don't claim to be Michael Schumacher, but I understand how to use a gearbox, and yeah, I think that's probably more of a dual clutch thing rather than the shifter. But yeah, looks good and looks functional. Do really like this this start-stop engine thing. It's even got like a soft close bit, which looks really nice. Very Lamborghini-esque. Thank you, mate. Nice wheels. I do like a line bike, me. But yeah, the quality in here feels really high. You've got a high quality touchscreen. Everything feels nice here. I'm not really sure how well they actually work though. I've had a few sort of infotainment gremlins, I think you call it. But it is good that you have physical aircon controls, because a lot of people like the fact that if you have a glitch here, you're not going to have to bake or freeze. So you've got aircon controls which are physical, heated screen, volume, and obviously your drive modes as well. So there are things that you can do here physically rather than having to wait for the screen to work. But I need to get onto the seats because that is always a key point for me. So follow me round so you can see what I'm talking about. I'll show you. So the seats. And you might be like, well, it doesn't really matter. As long as they're comfortable and they look okay, that's fine. And I disagree there. I spent almost 10 grand extra on an M track pack on my M2 because I wanted the seats to feel special and feel supportive. Now, I appreciate that won't suit every body type, but they just seem a bit bland. There's not a huge amount of support. Obviously, they say Lotus there, so it's not a plain seat. But yeah, they just don't feel, they're not especially snug and they don't look especially nice. They do a job, again, they're comfortable, but for me, when you're spending this sort of money, I want my seats to feel special because I'm going to spend a lot of time in it. I might want to chuck it around a corner, I might want to take it on a track. I'm sure for the final edition of the Emira, like they did on the final edition of the Evora and also the Exige, they'll do like a carbon style seat. But yeah, these, I think it's sort of, I think that's an opportunity missed. Or, other side of the coin, you can say there's a reason to upgrade to one of the later models, but they're just a bit bland really for me, and they don't fill me with, for a car of this ilk, I think they could have done something a bit more here. But I did actually say that I think I'd want another Emira at some point, so perhaps on the final edition, once they address that, maybe up the power on the i4, or even if they do a final edition of the V6, I think we will be there. We will be there. Somehow, and don't ask me why, I think I'm going to miss getting out of this car, despite being so low and the sill so wide. So how would I summarise my second and potentially last time driving the Lotus Emira? I've loved it. I really like the engine and gearbox combination, especially when it's in sport and track mode. The way the gearbox just fires into every gear, it just feels like a totally different car to the V6 that I drove before. And the fact that you can now buy this car on interest-free on PCP, or even at 1.1% on hire purchase, just makes it that bit more attainable. As I said, I would have bought this car if it was available instead of the V6, despite me never ever thinking I'd do so. Obviously the V6 sounds a bit better, but I think all of the other things combined just makes this car that bit more special and probably more comparable to something like an Alpine A110. But yeah, I love driving it. I hope it's come across as such as well. Thank you so much for watching. Don't worry, I've got loads more to come. See you very soon. These reminders won't go away. Make sure you subscribe. I'm 40 videos deep now, so there is a story to follow here. And since I spent the whole video telling you about my old Emira, here's the playlist for my Spanish road trip so you can catch up.